beauties. How are you? It's your girl Cardi of Little Beauty coming at you with another video. If you are a returning beauty, thank you so much for returning and the continued support. It means a lot. And if you are a new beauty, welcome. And I don't know what brought you here, but I'm so thankful that you are. And I would love it if you joined the Beautihood. And how to do that? It's so simple. So simple. What you have to do is hit the subscribe button, click the bell, click all, so that way you always know when your girl is posting. And I ask and encourage also that you watch this video in its entirety, and then only then. Because I don't like to ask for likes, I like to earn them. If you like what the information I gave and the content, click the like button. And if you didn't, because for whatever reason, I was a little shaky on some things. I didn't give what you wanted me to give. I didn't eat like you wanted to be fed, which is understandable. I ask that you don't hit the dislike button. Don't do that. That's not nice. But instead, go into the comment section. Give me some constructive criticism, because I read all comments and I take notes. So let's jump right into this. So I want to start off by saying I am a beauty who loves beauty, all things, but there was one area that I did not, first of all, know was a part of beauty, and I didn't expect or anticipate me falling and becoming so obsessed as I am with it, and that is skincare, which leads me to this new series that I'm doing called The Beauty of Skincare. Very simple, straight to the point. But the reason why it is so simple, and I chose this name, is because I think that there is a misconception when it comes to skincare. And I think one thing we don't talk about, that there is a unspoken beauty when it comes to skincare. And it is the foundation of it all. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. What can we expect from this series? You're going to expect a lot of conversation, a lot of advice. I'm going to be giving my opinions and some knowledge that I acquired through my own research and experience, which is trials and tribulations of things that I've come across since I've started taking my skincare a lot more seriously. So, first thing I want to do is want to start off by saying I am not an expert. I am not an esthetician, nor have I gone to receive any training. I just know what I know based off research, based off of things that I've tried, and that's why I feel, I feel like I have enough knowledge to be able to pass on what I know. With that being said, let's jump right into it. So, first thing is, what is skincare? So, the way that I simplified it is skincare is pretty much a routine or system of products that is used for the care of the skin. See how simple that is? Very simple. Who benefits from skincare? Everyone. Skincare doesn't have a expiration, nor does it have a start. Honestly, is my humble opinion that I think skincare should start from the minute you are born. And I know that now. Now, it's also going to be different throughout the ages, obviously. So when you're a baby, you ain't going to be putting on serums. You don't need that. You know what I'm saying? When you're young, you don't need those things. But I do think that you still should have a system. Yeah, well, babies don't have a system. They get the system done enough for them. But nonetheless, the next thing that I want to, so I'm going to do real quick some takeaways or some things that I just want to mention before we get started. First thing is, let me come here. The first thing that I want to mention is skincare, because I get asked this often, and I think a lot of people might think this. Skincare does not and will not stop the aging process. It is not a remedy to getting older. That is not what it's for. I think the only thing close to, that is going to be any type of cosmetic procedure, enhancement, or surgery. That is not going to be nothing you can buy in a bottle, at least not yet. Okay? Or tube or jar. The next thing that I want to say is skincare is always evolving. And we're going to touch more on that as we get further in the conversation. Okay, so now we're going to start off. So, you're beginning, and this is I'm going to talk to you as if you've never done it. So for people who are new to skincare, you don't have a system yet, you're still trying to figure out what you want to do, this is for you. First thing you need to do, and this is what I strongly recommend, before you can do anything, is you have to identify your skin type. So the four major skin types is normal skin, when you don't really have pretty much any issues, or you have dry skin, you have oily skin, and then you have combination skin. So once you've done that, now we can start with a basic skincare routine. Now we're here. First thing I want you to know is consistency is key. I'm looking right. I want to get close. Consistency is key. You have to be consistent if you want to see desired results. If you are not consistent, you are not going to see those results. And it is not because or lack of product. It's because of you, right? The next thing is start simple. I decided, because I came up with this because, and I'm, again, my experience when I first started, if you're like me, skincare, the amount of information that is out there is overwhelming. So I wanted to come up with a start off routine that was very simple to just minimize the worry. And here's what I came up with. So when you're starting off, first thing, you're gonna need 6 things, and then you're gonna need cleanser. You're gonna need a toner. You're gonna need moisturizer, but you're gonna need 2 moisturizers. You're gonna need one for day, which will make sure it contains SPF. I like to tell people SPF 30 or better. SPF, and then you're gonna want a moisturizer for night. You're going to need something for your lips. And then the last thing to start off with as a base is facial oil. Even for my oily skin, my oily beauties out there, facial oil is still beneficial. I use mine every time I do my skincare, right? Now, next point on this is, once you start doing this, you're consistent. Now, what is a time period of being consistent so that way you allow the products to work and all the good stuff? I strongly recommend that you at least give your system 30 days so you can see how the products it's working. And I think that's a fair amount of time for you to really judge a product. Okay? Once you've done that, now you can then decide and look at you can really evaluate your skin, and you can be like, okay, here are some areas that I want to improve, or here's some things about my skin that I want to preserve. Things that you improve are things like acne and blemishes, pimples, blackheads, whiteheads, stuff like that. Hyperpigmentation and wrinkles is something that wrinkles is not something you improve. Wrinkles is something that you prevent, or I hate to say prevent, but try to prolong or preserve your youth. Those are some of the things. The next thing when it comes to skincare, and this is so important, once you've done this, once you are at this stage, research. That is very, very important. Now, some key things to do when you're researching. Be specific in your research. If you just type in skincare, I'm telling you, you're going to be overwhelmed. So, for example, I'm going to use me, right? I'm just going to pick one, the one that I'm doing now. My biggest problem that I'm focused on now is hyperpigmentation. And it's because I have what is called polycystic ovarian syndrome. and it's PCOS for short. And what happens to my skin because of PCOS is I have hyperpigmentation. Now, some of the hyperpigmentation, well, you can't really see it right now because I have makeup on. It's nothing pretty much I can do about it. It's how the PCOS shows up on my skin, and that is my neck. My neck is very much darker than any part. My neck, I have some on my sides, my elbows, and my knees. That's how it pops up on the skin. So those are the areas that I'm focusing on. But another side effect of PCOS is facial hair, and I get facial hair, a lot of it. I'm a little more fortunate than some beauties out there get a lot. I do get some, but it's still a nuisance. And up until recently, I almost say the last year, I've been shaving, and my doctor told me to stop because I now have a lot of hyperpigmentation here and scarring and under my where my beard grows. So I now wax, but my focus is I want to focus on hyperpigmentation. So back to what will I research when I go so I don't get overwhelmed. I'm going to put in hyperpigmentation for oily skincare routines. That is what I will type in, or something to that effect. Very, very specific, very, very concise, so I don't get bombarded with unnecessary stuff. If that makes sense. Okay. Now you've done your research. Then from your research, you can start to add on to your routine. Some additions are serums, which is my favorite. Serums, eye creams, night treatments, masks, and masks are for this clay mask, gel mask, sheet mask, facial sheet mask. You have masks for your hands and your feet now. You have lip masks, eye masks, all that good stuff, and then you have mist and sprays. All it. Some honorable mentions when it comes to this thing called skincare and you developing this routine of yours. First thing is skincare, like I said before, once you do your research, it's going to evolve. And that's the purpose of it. That's the beauty of it. It will change. Also, another reason it's going to evolve is as you age, it's going to change. Your needs are going to change. Therefore, your skincare routine has to change with it, or should change with it. Another thing is give your routine, as I think I said this already, give your routine a chance to actually work. So that's why I mentioned the 30 days. 30 days is a good time for you to see whether or not the products is doing what it's supposed to do, whether or not it's beneficial to your skin, whether or not you like it. Next, that leads me to my next point. Listen to your skin. That is so important. If you're putting on products, and especially if it's not advertised to have a burning sensation, a tingling sensation, like itching, then that is something that you have to listen to, and you shouldn't be using it. And it's okay. Just find something else that can benefit you. Next thing is be honest with your results. Just because you spent $60, and this one was for me. Just because you spent a lot of money doesn't mean that it's worked. Or if it did work, that's great. But then you can also, there's another product that is probably cheaper that can also do the same thing. So, but be honest, because I was a victim of this. Because I spent $60, I was like, oh, this is the best stuff, and truthfully, didn't do anything. If I'm being honest. I'm not going to shout out who it was, because that's not what I do. But be honest with your results. The other thing I want to say is set, and this you can use in all life. I get told this all the time. Set realistic expectations. Don't, again, that's why I said that skincare does not stop the aging process. I don't want you to get something that says, oh, this is like a good example is this. I'm going to give you a good example of one of the things that I just got. This, if you can see this, it says youth boosting, right? That's the line. And this is an advanced night retinoid serum. I don't want you to get this and think that, oh, it's youth boosting. That means I'm going to be young forever. No. Set realistic expectations. So that way you don't be underwhelmed. You don't be devastated or heartbroken that it didn't work. So that's another thing. What else we have there? Mixing and matching. That's okay. Just because you might have Fenty this, you might have a little bit of Elf there, you might have a little bit of who else has a skincare line? You might have a little bit of J-Lo, you have a little bit of Glow Recipe, have a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. Use what works. That's okay. Next thing, try different brands, try different price point products, try different collections, and that way you don't settle and you really get to give yourself the best, pretty much trial and error. That's what I'm currently doing, and it's amazing. Last but not least, make sure you have fun. When I first started, okay, so fun fact is I didn't start taking my skincare seriously, I want to say, to the last 2 years. I did do skincare, but I wasn't really like researching like I could have and all that other stuff. But one thing that, and because of that, it felt like more of a task than it did feel like fun. So I was like, how can I make it more fun for me? Thing is, I turned it in, as I switched my perspective and went from it being a task to pampering myself, because that's truly what I'm doing. Like, I'm loving when I do my skincare, I'm loving on myself, and so therefore I take pride in it. And so now I love it. I truly love it. It's, for me, and it might sound crazy, but to me it's not. It's intimate. Like, this is an intimate moment for me, and if I can't be intimate with myself, then how can I expect somebody else to do it? Hello. So yes, I have fun with it. Have fun with it. It is such a good time if you make it a good time. So, with that being said, I just want to give you guys a real quick, I'm going to try to make this really, really quick so that I can be an example of skincare routine and how simple and how complex it can be. So, I'm going to give you my rundown. So, I have I have 2 different runs. So, I have a system, but I have 2 different routines in the system. Already complicated. I know. So I'm gonna start with my extensive one. That is the one, and I refer to it as self-love. That is, and I do this on Sundays. This is my weekly reset, and it goes a little something like this. Hit it. So I always double cleanse. Sometimes I triple cleanse, but that depends on the type of week that I had. Did I have on a lot of makeup? Was it a lot of full coverage makeup? Was I out in the elements, the sun, the cold? That determines whether or not I triple cleanse. But I always double cleanse. My double cleanse usually starts with Noxzema. It's an OG, but it's a staple. It's not going anywhere unless they make something better. Noxzema. And then after that, I go in with a gel or cream cleanser. Next step, my lip scrub. I love a lip scrub. Make sure you scrub your lips. You don't want no chappy lips. Then I go in with a toner. Then after my toner, I have my gel or clay mask. I alternate. But once a month, I do both. After that, I go in with my sheet mask and my eye mask. Yes, we start the yummy. Then the next part is my favorite part of skincare, my serums. And when I do my serums, I take a line from The Lion King, and it goes something like this. It's slimy, yet satisfying, and I love it. I have a lot of serums. I use a lot. Then they got your moisturizer. So you get a day one, again, SPF 30 or more, my humble opinion. Then I have something for night. Next thing that I do is an eye cream. Also, keep in mind, every step I allow it to dry down and absorb in the skin before I go to the next step. Then after the eye cream, face oil or facial oil, and last but not least, a lip mask. And I do that day and night. But this is what I do on Sundays. I would have done it today, but I've been recording all day, so I don't go to work until late Monday, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. Now, that is, again, my weekly. Now, my everyday routine is a little bit smaller. So I go back to the double cleanse. I do my lip scrub. I hit my serums. Double cleanse, toner, lip scrub, serums, moisturizer day or night, eye creams, facial oil, and then my lip mask or treatment. Then the things that I alternate, because sometimes some products I use once or twice a week. Some products I use 2 to 3 times a week. And that is my Noxzema. I don't use Noxzema every day because my skin, I'm fortunate enough that my skin is, she's a thug. She could take a beating. You know what I'm saying? My skin is, she ain't no, you know what I'm saying? What? So she can handle some Noxzema. But even that's the case, I don't use Noxzema all the time. I don't use it every day. Every other day. And then some serums. It requires you to use it hard, like I said, 2 times of the week, 3 times of the week. But anywho, that pretty much rounds it up for the first installment of the Beauty of Skincare. I truly hope this has inspired you to start a routine. And I hope you learned something. And if you did, please comment. Matter of fact, assignment, comment below one thing you took away from this. One thing. And if you learned one thing, I did my job and I feel fulfilled. One thing. Also, are you going to do a skincare routine? And if you have any questions, please let me know. Is there any product that you have questions about that you think about trying and you didn't know? And if you want me to try it, I will do my best. But with that being said, thank you so much. I hope you made it to the end. Thank you for making it to the end. As always, remember, true beauty is limitless. Stay beautiful and be kind. Until next time. Bye, y'all.